positively impact student learning. So I just wanted to come make a public statement so there's no confusion over who's involved in that, at least whether or not I am involved in it. Last week in the legislature, Tuesday, I believe it was, parents came down and pleaded with the Legislative Education Committee for charter schools. Charter schools are not a silver bullet. They won't fix everything that's broken in Omaha, but there's something broken in Omaha when kids are graduating and they can't read and they can't do simple fractions. And I know everyone on this board, you know, ran for office because you care about education. And I know teachers are teaching because they care about education. But charter schools, and I know it's not up to you to decide whether we have charter schools in Nebraska or not as well. But I just am a little discouraged that, you know, there's a lot of misnomers out there about charter schools, and so I'm hoping I can help clarify those. I think that you probably have read studies and stuff on them, but I don't know if this is a question and answer, maybe not. But they're just one tool, many tools. High expectations for every kid is another tool, and I was here the night the 119-page needs analysis was released, and you know, there's an issue in OPS with high expectations for every student. So I think there's some policies to raise expectations for students. There's some policies to open the doors to alternative pathways to teaching for students. So I just hope that we, as a group that I work with, and as a citizen who lives in OPS, who votes in OPS, who pays taxes in OPS, who has kids I care about who go to OPS, let me clarify, I do not have children of my own, but I have kids I care about in OPS. That we can work together and implement policies that are proven to positively impact students. Nebraska Alliance for Quality Education has been exchanging some conversation with Kaya Henderson in Washington, D.C. She's D.C. Public Schools, I don't think they call it superintendent there, but the equivalent. Not afraid of charter schools, not afraid of policies that positively impact student performance. DC's trajectory of improvement is like this. Nebraska's is like this. So all I'm hoping is that we look at policies that will put us on this pathway and not remaining for the last 10 years on this pathway. A lot of you are new to the board, so I think you have a lot of opportunity there. And I also just want to make a statement that one reason ed reformers have started in the last 20 years because there's not a strong enough voice for students and parents in this democratic system that has come to be by 2014. And I think there's people behind me who, you know, maybe they did, their parents did. There's certainly a lot of people in South Omaha who came to America for the promise of a high quality education. And I just hate to see any entity, elected or otherwise, try to diminish that voice and not give people a voice to at least have an open discussion. And as OPS board members, I think you know this, but maybe it's worth pointing out, you represent the voices of your constituents, not the voices of other people on the board, not the voice of the superintendent. You know, and I think you have every right to speak as a board member for your constituents. And so, you know, President Obama, President Bush, President Clinton, former candidate Romney, all supported ed reform. And it hasn't penetrated Omaha. And I think it's hurting students, and I hope that we can all work together and promote some policies that are proven to positively impact those students. So,
that's time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Ed Taylor. Please state your name, last name, spelling of your last name, and address, please. And again, 5 minutes apply. Yeah, Mr. Ray, I'll let you know when there's 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Ed Taylor, Taylor, 1024 Dodge Street, Omaha, Nebraska, 68102. What was the rest of it?
You're that's fine.
Is that it? I represent an organization, new organization called the Omaha Talents, made up primarily of young South Sudanese African-American children at North High School twice a week. Somewhere between 70 to 170 kids at any moment will show up. It's open gym with structure. The idea behind the concept is that through discipline and tactics in athletics, and you can correlate those into sport, into academics. We've only been at it for a short time, so the jury's still out. But what comes to mind to me is my life experience as a reduced lunch child, upward bound student, student athlete from a school in another state, where my mentors were white, black, Hispanic, all with the same intentions to get me to understand how important education was. I come to you today knowing that I had that choice to go in any direction I wanted to, but education became a part of my life. I've been in Omaha for 30 years, know a few members of the board, and understand my passion for young people and how important it is for them to have choice in education. I think without the Upward Bound program in Ogden, Utah, I don't know where I'd be today. I'm 56, but I hold Dave Trujillo in high regards for turning the light on for me. Although my father was a military man, his job and responsibility was to get me to 18 and get me out of the house, as he said. But he had, there was a plan. And I look to you as board members to understand the plight that I see every day. I see twice a week. I see as many times as I can a week, sometimes it's 6 days a week. I'm on speed dial for a lot of young men and women. And where we're lacking, where they're lacking, is their ability to read at their grade level. Where they're lacking is their ability to reason and make responsible decisions as young people. I don't believe charter schools is the total answer. I do believe it's a choice. I do believe, like them coming in the middle of winter in 4 degrees, walking 10 blocks, 15 blocks to come to our program, that we do have something to offer as mentors. But I also believe that we certainly need to continue to strengthen our choice in education and allow these people to have the same chance that I had. I have 4 daughters. 2 have graduated from university. One has a master's degree from St. Mary's College. One is an undergraduate degree from Fordham University. Don't ask me why, but one is a freshman at the University of Kansas. My youngest daughter is 15 years old, and she has 2 more years of high school at Central High School, Go Eagles. And the job her job is to have strength of education. Her job is to understand that through education, a lot of things can happen. The educated change things. An intelligent mind is a great and strong mind. And I plead to you to open the discussion on charter schools so all kids have a chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is James Mason. State your first name, last name, spelling of your last name, and address. And again, 5 minutes, Mr. Ray.
Thank you. I thought I was going to speak on personnel, but I'll speak on anything. That's fine. I'm good.
Oh, you can still speak about personnel. You just didn't put it on here as personnel. You
I
just
thought it was H2 or something. I'm fine.
Oh, I just couldn't read your writing. You want to wait till then? Sorry, it's my fault. You can speak on it right now, but
I'm
you
good. Yeah.
Okay.
2 things. James Mason, M-A-S-O-N. I have the 6th of 5 graduates from OPS in the 7th grade at Davis.